Live in 30 seconds, the rocket-powered report is the meeting of three casters. Stay tuned for esports news in Rocket League, chat about our favorite game, and all the laughs. And now, your hosts, Rock Whisperer, Curtis, and myself, SilentEcho. Hello, welcome to the Rocket Powered Report. I'm SilentEcho, joined with Rock Whisperer on my right and Curtis on my far right. Say hello, guys.
Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going way over there?
Yeah, so disclaimer, we're super unorganized as per usual, except that this time we are actually recording. We've got our faces all lined up and we're not showing any videos this week, so we're not going to have any audio issues. You'll be glad to hear.
I want it to be known that I just made a killer save, and this is why we're unorganized.
Yes. Rock Whisperer's in overtime. I mean, we're here because of Rocket League, so it's kind of expected that we're going to play it once in a while.
My apologies.
Here we go. Curtis just got home from going out somewhere. I've been ill. It's fun.
I've been at work for freaking ever. Does anyone want a job? I will split it with you.
You're gonna subcontract your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm gonna subcontract my subcontract job. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a guy who did that, and he ended up getting arrested or something for tax fraud. But there was some guy in America who was getting paid like 60 grand a year to do a job, so he paid some guy in India 25 grand to do the job for him, and then just never went into the office. So...
See, I'm just gonna they start arresting me and beating me up. I'm just gonna say I'm blind and albino, and that's a hate crime. And then I'm gonna get a whole bunch of money in a lawsuit. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be all good. And then I won't have to work again. So that's a bonus, and I'll have more time to focus on Rocket League. Because there is a lot of stuff to focus on.
There is indeed. There's a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of news has come out in the last week. Of course, debuted on the TTT podcast with Lawler and Johnny and
Cloudfuel. Yeah.
We have a season 2 of RLCS that we absolutely must talk about.
Can I fangirl for a moment?
We've got some big roster changes we have to go over as well. One over in EU especially that we need to definitely touch on.
It's been the week of roster changes, let's be honest. There's been a lot going on.
It's been a couple weeks of roster changes.
That's fair. But yeah,
but
crazy.
That is to be expected.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, a lot of things, crazy things are happening.
Yes.
So, how do you guys feel about 250 grand?
I feel like I should quit the whole casting thing and go pro. Oh wait, no, there's a reason I'm casting and doing podcasts and writing and stuff. Oh crap.
You got it. That's me too.
I mean, I think
it's unfortunate that I absolutely am awful at the game.
Well, I think the person who's got to feel the worst has got to be Scrub Killer, right?
Again, yeah.
Because once again, he's not allowed to compete. He's only 30. Is he 14 now? I love their new team. Let's roll straight into that. I mean, Scrub Killer has formed a team with Mistaken Bluey called We Dem Babies, which is the best team name of all time. I love it. It's great. But
given that they're not even old enough to consider driving school.
Yeah, I mean they can't. Yeah, they're way too good at the game.
They're freshmen in freaking high school.
You're right. Yeah, that's the issue that I have. But
the amount of wrong is not defined by simply saying, "Hey, they're really too young to be competing at this level."
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, me personally, I think if they're that damn good at the game, I'd say let them compete. Just get their parents in on it, make sure that all the paperwork's done and all that.
Do you know what it is?
At it.
It's Cynox did actually respond to this. I don't remember where I saw it, or it might have been Cloud somewhere, but definitely this has been covered officially, and it is due to working laws across the different territories that the RLCS covers.
Wait. It's a child labor laws thing?
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense because they're competing in a tournament for prize money. They're not paying them a wage.
Yeah, but it's
It
still
doesn't
money
make
that
any
they
sense to me.
earn. Like, you still have to pay
Yeah.
tax on that money.
Oh, that's fine, but their parents
But
get
yeah.
signed for this is the same general concept as
Nah,
when
man.
you get a Twitch partnership and you're less than 18 years old.
Yeah,
Just have your legal
but
guardian.
but
I
you
don't know,
have but you
that's
have
just
to
my
be
opinion.
over 15, is it, to actually like technically have a Twitch account?
I don't know. It's
You have
just
to be into
odd.
14.
You have to be 14. So that's it. So it is a child labor issue. That's the understanding. I mean, come on, in the UK, like if it comes out that a child scratched off a scratch card, like a lottery scratch card that you won money on, like you can actually like the legal action can be taken against you.
But going back to
So
Rocket League.
yeah, coming back to Rocket League
Yeah,
anyway. So
done
these
bait.
guys are not able to compete. So yeah,
That is
That's unfortunate.
very unfortunate.
That's unfortunate. Stay in school, kids.
yeah, right,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
So don't worry, it'll come. You'll be fine. By the time you guys, I mean, at this rate, so what? We're on track for season 3. Is gonna have 2.25 million. At this rate of expansion, season 4 is gonna be
Yeah.
like it's 5 times every time. Like, that's how this is rolling, right?
Oh, wouldn't that be fantastic?
Do you know what? This is the best news that I've ever had about anything that I care about. The fact that we're getting 5 times as much money is
Well,
just great.
Yeah.
Let me touch on this for a moment because it's interesting to me because ultimately, and I just completely lost the point I was about to make. I hate it when that happens. You ever stop to think and forget to start again?
Right? I think I did that when I was 12. And
Yeah, it hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped. I'm 14 years older than that, and it kind of just went away.
yeah.
So that's the okay. I got it. Thank you for letting me recover. Ultimately, there are still people, and I don't know how this is possible, but there are still people in the Rocket League community, and I'm saying probably this is by reference of Leafix, of Findable Carpet, of a couple others that have the RLCS analyst tag. There are still people in the Rocket League community that do not know what RLCS is.
Yeah, do you know what? Actually,
there
that
are
is
prizes.
that's the thing that I enjoyed the most about the day that Findable Carpet got his analyst tag. Because
Yes.
in the chat they were like, "What's RLCS analyst? What does that mean?" And I was just like, "How do you not know about? It's on the main menu." Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
That was-
Night Nimbus put something in the chat that I have
Oh,
to
yeah,
read out
yeah,
loud
go for it. I saw that.
For us weekend workers, RLCS should be a season, not a quote. You have to play weekends since fuck you weekend workers end quote.
language
work
kiddos.
as a weekend
On the
worker.
weekend. Yeah,
It
I
was-
work at Best Buy and I work like 8 days a week. So I
Yeah.
completely understand where
You're on Star
coming
Trek
from
time, 25/6.
Yeah. Start date.
That's exactly what it is. But ultimately, that's where we're at. There are still people out there in the Rocket League community. The Rocket League community, for example, the amount of players, there are 20 million plus players of Rocket League. 20 million. That is 1/15 of the American population.
Mhm.
That is absolutely massive, and there are still people. This thing can expand. There's only 81,000 on a max, or 85,000 or whatever it was, at max concurrent viewers.
At
of
concurrent,
RLCS
yes.
International
We
Final.
had so I did a little bit of research
Okay.
and was listening to some things, and it was confirmed 86,000.
But
So
I would point.
86,000 people watched the RLCS live.
But I would point out that that's not actually accurate because that's just the peak concurrent viewership. In terms
No,
of
yeah,
uni-
that's fine.
in
I'm
terms
just
of
using that
yeah,
as a benchmark
in terms
number.
of
I'm not worried
unique
about the-
yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of
I'm-
unique views of the RLCS over the time that it was on, it was 1 million. 1 million
Okay.
unique users according to Twitch tuned in, which is just the best. Like, I love it.
Oh, for sure. The fact of the matter is there's so much room for expansion.
Oh yeah,
This
yeah,
thing
absolutely.
can absolutely blow up. I mean, and I was talking to Leafix, I was talking to and I was talking to Findable, obviously, and ultimately Leafix told me that Twitch did not think it was going to be as big as Cloudfuel thought it was going to be, but they thought Cloudfuel was overshooting. Cloudfuel was probably looking at. I think Cloudfuel said that he was looking at probably 55, and Twitch was thinking 25, maybe.
Hopefully,
And
yeah.
it overshot both of those combined
by a lot.
by a lot. And ultimately, the fact is that there is a want for this. We've already surpassed League of Legends in the esports community at their earliest stage.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And even probably at their mid stage, to be completely honest with you.
yeah, and it's been said multiple times, if you guys watch anything of the analysis sides, that it's because Rocket League is a game that you don't have to play to watch and enjoy.
Yep.
We all know how soccer's played. We all
It's the
know
simplest thing in the
how-
world. It's the simplest thing in the world.
Take a car, make it fly, and you want it to hit the goal. You want it to go in. Easy.
Yeah.
Well, it's not easy to play, but it's easy to understand.
Yeah, that's
easy
it.
to learn,
Exactly.
hard to master, and I wouldn't even say easy to learn in some cases, because there's a reason I'm a caster, guys. There's a reason I do a podcast, and I'm not sitting there playing ranked and getting Rising Star and above.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to become a professional player someday. I'm going to leave you two in the dust. But until that day, I'll stick with this podcast.
I don't know, man. I've played with
Final
you.
Curve, but that's fine.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, Findable got a start in the pro scene. Let's not remember he was
That's
in a top 15
That's true.
team. I think he said to me when I was talking to him the other day.
Wow.
Let's.
Night
Okay, I'm gonna
Ninjas. You wanna
answer a
make that?
question. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just gonna answer that. You guys think
Awesome.
that Rumble will be competitive? I think it's
No.
gonna go the same way that the Hoops and Snow Day did. I think it's gonna stay unranked to the point where there's still gonna be tournaments for it. I think, but they're not gonna be.
I don't think there's.
traditional
I
vanilla
don't
Rocket
think there's going to be tournaments for it. I don't know about you guys.
okay.
Sorry, Silent.
Okay,
Go for it.
so like Curtis, you left the meeting that we were having early, clearly.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee to you all that there are going to be tournaments for
there's-
it. No, I can
was
guarantee
referencing
that there are going to be tournaments. I can guarantee that there are going to be some organizations that are going to do their absolute best to make this a competitive format, and you guys are just going to have to wait until later on in the week to hear more about that. Okay,
As
so I hate to
far
be a
as
tease, but
yeah, as far as competitive in the actual playlist,
I don't think you're going to be able to.
for
Yeah, we're not going to be able to queue into a competitive playlist yet. I think that will come because, to be perfectly honest with you, I think it's going to be too much fun. So
I'm going to represent the other side. I don't think so. I personally haven't been looking that forward to it. I'll play it. I played Hoops, but I am definitely. I like the standard pitch. I like the regular play.
yeah, but you don't like
and everything
Wasteland
like
or
that.
Neo Tokyo.
I hate Neo Tokyo.
You also don't like
Wasteland,
sauce in your cheeseburgers.
Yeah, this is
I
it.
don't
You're,
actually.
you're Mr. Vanilla.
And I don't know why we have to add all this stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, it'll be fun. In a competitive scene, that is not what I want to see.
No, and that's fine. And
Well,
some people are gonna like it. Some people are
I-
not gonna like it. Some
yeah.
people are gonna play
Now,
it as fast as
What I would enjoy, now
Mhm.
at RLCS season 2, 3, whenever, if they have like a filler game where they have some of the two top teams play a Rumble game against each other just for the heck of it, that would be cool. That would be awesome. It doesn't have to have any meaning, but just to see the best of the best play a goofy mode would be fantastic.
I think
Even if it would be like an April Fool's joke on RLCS.
I think that's a
You guys are
short-sighted
gonna
view.
throw you into it and have it like that.
I think it's a short-sighted view. So, like, the thing that got me interested in esports originally was StarCraft 2. I watched a lot of StarCraft 2 esports. The thing that keeps StarCraft 2 interesting is the fact that across the like when you're playing the game in tournament settings, the map pools change all the time, and every map has specific strategies that will work on that one map, but it won't work on other maps and stuff like that, and it massively increases the skill cap on the competitive scene. And I think
agree.
that with the progression that we've seen from the pro teams across the year of Rocket League that we have had now in terms of competitiveness, we have seen teams move away from rolling the ball around the corners on the wall to them hitting the ball into the corner so it bounces off the wall, to them just hitting the backboard and going from that. And I think the next thing will be ceiling touches. So anything that increases the skill cap is going to make it more entertaining to watch, and it's going to increase the length of time that it's going to be successful as an esport. So to deny it that opportunity and just keep it in vanilla, I think vanilla is always going to have its place, but I think that for the point of view of like an esport is for the viewers as much as it is for the players. And watching the pro teams play on Neo Tokyo and Gamer Saloon was some of the most fun that I've had watching Rocket League.
I see, and I disagree. I do agree with you that in games like StarCraft, and you know what, League of Legends is the prime example of a game that the map never changes, kind of a thing. I think that there's a reason it has such a high skill tier, and there's a reason it stayed so good, is because you need to keep a standard. You need to keep that similar thing that everyone can get used to, and throwing that into it, I think, is gonna hurt it. It's not gonna build up the competitive scene in any good way that I want to see.
Let me interject there, Stone, because I don't think you've heard this bit of news. It has been confirmed for RLCS Season 2
Neo Tokyo and Wasteland.
That there will be.
Yes,
Neo Tokyo
I have heard that news, and it makes my heart bleed just a little bit.
No,
I understand the reasoning, and I fully support Psyonix in this decision. We already have those in the ranked playlist, competitive playlist. Sorry, Season 1 coming out.
I think they can burn Neo Tokyo to the ground personally, but I don't mind having Wasteland there.
Well, I think Neo Tokyo is the best map in the game right now, in my opinion, because it's the map that nobody's fully figured out. Neo Tokyo, the standard maps are figured out. Like, everybody knows what's going to happen, and I find that to be boring. Like, it's not that I find the game boring at all. Like, obviously, I'm still playing 70 hours a week and all this kind of stuff. But in all seriousness, the pro teams have figured out standard maps. Wasteland is more of an unknown quantity because there's very, very few tournaments that include it. Neo Tokyo, very much even, to a whole new level, because, I mean, we're at the point now where some of the pro teams, they never queue rank together, they only scrim.
Which is fine.
So they just never play Neo Tokyo. Yeah, but I think that, like, you look across esports just as a whole. Yeah, they're going to have to play.
I think it'll force them to, and I'm not saying that's a terrible thing. And I enjoy when I start to tilt a little bit playing competitive, hop into a not mutators anymore, Rocket Labs one, because it's different. And when I was first learning and they had Rocket Labs to practice doing aerials, I would go into Rocket Labs maps because the ball was up in the air more. It forced me to think more clearly about what I was doing. So when I would hop into a competitive game, I was already in a better mindset.
See, when I get tilted too bad, I just go play Overwatch and shoot stuff. Yeah. That's generally how it goes for me.
What, you go play Lucio Ball?
Yeah,
Lucio Ball? What a waste of time that was.
You mean crummy Rocket League?
Yeah, you mean Rocket League that's just bad.
One time. And I won't touch it again. They bring it back, and I played it. I didn't even play it on PC. I played it on PS4 for one game. Never again.
Not worth it. I agree. But okay, so getting away from that topic, I understand I'm the underdog. Guys in the chat, if you want to put your opinions in, I'd love to see whether you say yes to having more creative styles in competitive Rocket League. Or
when we roll around to episode 50 and we've been doing this for a year, Stone, I'm just going to love shoving how wrong you were in your face. I'm going to make a note in my calendar, 50 weeks from now, tell Stone that he was wrong.
You gotta get Zards in here for a shout out here. Curtis, where'd you get your eyelashes dyed thinking of getting it done? I got your mom did it? No, I'm kidding. I'm actually albino. All of my body hair is the same color, and you can take that for what it's worth. And that's basically how it is. So.
Okay, well, keeping up with chat, I want to read a couple comments here.
Sure, what's up?
Night Nimbus, I'll read his comment out right now. I think it stops being skill and starts to get random a bit. To explain further, the black spot near the goals on the side has so many angles with a CM change in location. Yeah, I agree. And then Xander, I agree with Rock a bit. The talent pool for pros is not that large yet. How many players can compete at the highest level? 50, and that's a very high estimate. Don't maps like Neo Tokyo just make that pool even smaller? Yes and no. I would. I'm happy to hear someone agrees with me, but I don't think it makes it smaller. I think it'll actually make it a little bit bigger because
very often. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't believe I just agreed with that.
Yeah.
But I think it makes it a little bit bigger because there's a lot of people who, when they see a map like Neo Tokyo, maybe they're not a better player, like they're not one of the best players. It gives them a little bit more of hope because things are a little bit more random. But I think that's the issue, is it makes things more random and kind of lucky.
Okay.
Although in the beginning, more so, I get that, Silent. I think I know exactly where you want to go with this. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna throw out just one game which proves that everything you just said is wrong, and that is Hearthstone.
I hate Hearthstone, and I refuse to watch or know.
Yet at the same time, it's still the fourth. It's in the top 5 watch games on Twitch all the time. Never goes down out of that pool. So to be honest with you, I think that from the point of view of from the point of view of the map pool issue, I agree with everybody. I understand where everybody's coming from with the Wasteland and Neo Tokyo thing. And actually, this is a point, like, if you go back through my Reddit history, you will see me have this conversation over and over and over again on threads where I said that a new map coming into the map pool that was non-standard would make Wasteland much more bearable, and it has. The more non-standard
there's no lie to
maps
that.
we have, the problem is that the standard maps massively outweigh the non-standard maps. Once we've got, I want to see them bring in new skins for Wasteland and new skins for Neo Tokyo, so that we've got multiple versions of those maps, so that the frequency is increased. And again, this comes back to the StarCraft thing. So
that's the same way they did it with DFH, the same way they did it with Manfield, same
Yeah,
way
that's
they
what-
did it with a whole bunch of the
yeah,
other ones.
but those are all
completely
the
agree.
same map, with just with like 15
give me
skins.
different skins, make the lights a little bit,
Yeah.
Wasteland is
It
still
doesn't work.
unbearable. Okay,
Yeah.
well here's
okay.
a comment I will make, and I
Mhm.
think we should move on
Yeah.
from this topic.
True.
Rumble is something I'm not as big a fan of, or as excited. I guess I shouldn't say I'm a big a fan. It hasn't come out yet.
You just hate
But
fun.
it's
That's
something
what
that
your problem
I
is.
don't look as forward to in competitive.
Mhm.
I would be more excited about having the different maps than having a Rumble competitive mode, whereas having the more maps thrown into a competitive mode. I think that can become good. I just don't necessarily. That's not what I'm a fan of, personally, when it comes to sports in general, esports or not.
Okay, well, from this point of view, then one final point on Rumble, because that was what originally we started talking about. But Rumble, I think, is going to massively increase the size of the player base. I think there are going to be people who buy Rocket League just to play Rumble.
I
can
think
see
so,
that.
but that's not. I don't think that's going to help grow our competitive professional.
I disagree, because the thing is that people will come for the Rumble, but they'll stay for the Rocket League.
I
That's a
think
nice thought.
I think that's a nice thought, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get
I'm
back
not gonna argue
to
against that.
let's get back to the updates then.
Getting to other
so-
things.
So
Let's-
rosters.
Let's talk about let's talk about
exactly.
rosters, and let's talk about the not just a single tear I shed, but the weeping and wallowing I have for Quinn Liddell leaving Genesis.
I have never seen
can
you
just
reply to
imagine.
Discord as fast as when I put that in our Discord.
I
Dude.
was devastated. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw me actually tweeting to Quinn and Genesis. Genesis is my favorite team. If anybody knows me and they know Rocket League, they know that is the best team. And although Quinn, I apologize for saying this in advance, was not necessarily the best player for Genesis, and I think if they get the right player in there, they can really be a team to look out for. It's
do you
just
think-
sad.
Who's going to fill that spot? Who's going to fill Quinn's spot?
That's
I'm
a
not
dangerous
sure.
question.
That is a
because
very dangerous question.
Because
the
and
thing is, I can't think of a team that has in the NA side that really has the turmoil that they're going to be breaking
Okay.
up anytime
Well-
soon. I mean, the only one that had a shot at doing that was Lucky Bounce, and 2 of the 3 of them returned.
and I'm gonna make a Hail Mary here that'll probably never happen. And I'm gonna say what I would love to see, and I think would be ridiculous. And if you guys are listening,
Mhm.
just please do this. I would love to see Overzero replace Gambit on IBP and Gambit move to
No,
Genesis.
Overzero has replaced Gambit on, and
Oh, yeah,
Gambit was
there's
exactly
that's
who I was about to say, because Gambit left because of health issues, right? But they're health issues that are related to stress. Now, I could understand how playing in the same team as Cronovi and Lacinio would make you stress, and I could
well,
see
you're-
how
you're a big
Espion
team.
and the
Pluto.
Pluto, thank you, would not produce that same stressful environment, because Gambit was
No.
tidying up after Crow and Latch, and I don't think that would be the case with Espion and Gambit.
Well, yeah,
and,
we would
Pluto.
see Gambit, arguably the #1 player in the world, playing with two teammates. Now, no diss to Crow and Lacinio, but I don't consider them to be good teammates. Pluto playing that man back is perfect, but as I've had many discussions about, that is not his best position. If we had Pluto and Espion playing our midfielder in attack, and you have Gambit as the man back, kind of filling in the holes, which is what he did for IBP, but now he has a whole lot less stress doing so.
Mhm.
I think we would see them just skyrocket up that ladder in the ranks.
I mean, it's definitely a dream team. There's no doubt about that. That's the only real kind of free agent that I can think of that could possibly have a shot to do that on the NA side.
Yep. Guys in the chat, if you have any input on this, if you like that idea,
Yeah, absolutely.
give me like a thumbs up or something like that. Or
So-
do you guys have ideas of who you think could be also joining Genesis?
Are they going to
I'd be
then end
excited.
up being called like Leviticus or something? Or
If we could pick that up, that would be
Rocket
fantastic.
League team called Job.
Rocket League team called Job.
Yeah, I love
if
it.
we make it that far.
So moving away from pipe dreams and just Rock getting
Let's
far
get to
too
things that have actually
excited.
happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we also have another roster change. Pashy90 is joining Northern Gaming. We saw last week that it was Greasy Meister left and is now on Flipside, and they replaced it because Mocket EU disbanded with Pashy. How do you guys think that's going to play out? Do you think his playstyle is going to fit, or is he still going to be kind of the independent, almost like a better version of A-Money on Selfless, where he kind of does what he wants?
I kind of want to just see how that chemistry is going to work, because ultimately I think it's going to be kind of like when you first started seeing Over Zero full time for IVP. I think it's going to be kind of like that, where the chemistry wasn't there when they were playing in, for example, I think it was PPL they played on, and then they got to RLCS. They had it figured out by the time RLCS International Final rolled around, and they came through and played really, really well. Pashy's one of those that can add to a team after a little while. So I think ultimately his playstyle will mesh, but it's going to take a little bit of time.
I think his playstyle is actually quite similar to Greasy's though.
Yeah, Greasy was always kind of more of the wild card on Northern Gaming.
I think that Pashy's
the wild card on whatever team he plays for.
I think Pashy is
McNeil,
Sorry, go ahead, Curtis.
Dane McNeil hit it perfect in chat. He says it's going to be a great grudge match, New Flipside against Northern. I think that is going to be something that we should probably charge admission to. That's going to be a fun one to watch, there's no doubt.
But we've already seen, so just very briefly, but we did see two teams go up against it. And there were two interesting rosters in Gamer Saloon. Should we talk about this very quickly, seeing as we're talking about rosters anyway? Kings of Urban versus...
so that's almost a whole nother discussion.
Versus Exodus,
didn't know what I was watching when that game happened.
Greasy and Remco just playing for NA teams.
Yes, if you don't watch Gamer Saloon, go back to last week's games. Watch the Exodus Northern Gaming games, because Greasy and Remco both just decided to become Americans for the night.
And they subbed on different teams. So they were playing against each other.
They played against each other. I believe Exodus had Remco.
Yeah, Exodus had Remco and Kings of Urban had Greasy. Yeah.
And that was one of the wackiest games that I have seen, because I don't think Remco or Greasy fit well on either of those teams.
Yeah.
And they were using cards we don't see them with.
Yeah.
Greasy was using the Batmobile and Remco was using the Breakout. I've never seen them with either of them.
I think Greasy was just trying to be like Over Zero Mark II. Like Kings of Urban were like, we need to bring in a new player who's driving the Batmobile. That's what needs to happen. So, but
and if you heard the casting, our casters, I actually think it was Nimbus. I don't think it was Leaf. I thought it was James Bot and
it was James Bot and Carpet.
And Carpet, yeah.
James Bot
and
Carpet.
I loved it how they kept mistaking them and saying Genesis.
Yeah.
Who Moses is the only one that was on there from Genesis. I don't know where they were getting it from. But yeah, if you have it, if you have time, watch it. Exodus did win that one 3-2 against Kings of Urban. It was close.
Yeah.
And it was a
got some
great
other results
series
to go over that we will hear shortly.
Yeah.
Can we think of any other roster changes though?
Astrum. We need to talk about Astrum.
So there are a couple. Yeah, there are a couple of them actually still. So Astrum, I think we'll start with.
Yeah.
So Vogan, this is Vogan's new team. Now Vogan was the guy who started Flying Dutchman, as we all know, and that was a great team, but they lost hope, I guess you could say.
Well, watch our podcast. Yeah, watch our podcast on YouTube from last week, and you'll hear a lot of discussion about the start of the Flying Dutchman. So we'll leave that for now and talk about the fact that the Vogan pulled that team together. So now he's on a new team.
I'm excited. His two teammates are going to be Sniper Kid and Mystic, and then
I Ignite as a sub.
I Ignite. Is that how it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Is I believe their sub, and I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Mystic. His playstyles always seemed a little bit more sloppy to me. Sniper Kid, on the other hand, is someone that I am sad to say that I have not heard of in a long time. I believe it was earlier this year, and I want to say February or March, is when I was watching a couple of the, I think it was Mocket during their skyrocket when they were huge. Sniper Kid was just taking shot after shot. He was an offensive powerhouse in the EU. And I'm excited to see if he is still that way. And to mix him with Vogan is going to be a great
Yeah, he was around basically for the infancy of the competitive scene for Rocket League back when MLG was really the big focus, and a little bit of ESL as well, and that was basically all there was. So to see him back with that kind of talent, I think is going to be something to watch. So
Yeah,
that's
hopefully
a
he
team
comes
to
back
watch
with
out
a
for.
vengeance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and Lumen, you said iIgnite played for Too Easy. That's interesting. Too Easy was a team that, I don't know, always bouncing back and forth. I could never tell if they just couldn't get their flow in, and that's why they didn't do well, or not.
Yeah, he's a good player. I've
Everyone,
definitely heard of him. So
yeah, I personally had never heard of iIgnite, but I never paid too close attention to Too Easy, other than seeing them pop up with the occasional underdog, like, oh, we beat a big team, but then we lost to nobody.
yeah.
So,
Yep.
so that's Astrum. And Silent,
Yep.
do you have any opinions on this new team? Or what
I
you
thought
think they're
I
gonna
thought they looked really good. I mean, they took a game off Northern Gaming straight off the bat, so that was great showing from them. But then Northern Gaming did actually win that series. But I think that really it's too early to say. We just need to see what goes through. Vogan, though, I think that Flying Dutchman were most definitely like all the way through the RLCS. It was Vogan who was the driving force of that team. He was the one slapping them into shape. So if you've got any concerns about people he's on a team with now, I think that those concerns are going to be gone very, very shortly.
Yeah.
So, because I just see him as a bit of a crack in the whip in the background, taskmaster, getting people up into shape. And I mean, I really like Vogan. I think he was a great personality at RLCS, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this new team does. We are about halfway through now, so we've got about another half an hour to go. So I think we need to start getting into results as to what's gone on over the week.
Before we get into
go
results, sorry, rather than results, I'd like to get into rankings, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Oh yeah, we can talk about power rankings.
Just before results, I feel like that goes well beforehand. And so we're going to talk about power rankings, and I'm going to start with the world rankings. And the biggest thing that I think everybody needs to take notice of is the number 3 spot in the world right now is Supersonic Avengers.
Yeah.
I did not see this happening. I kind of was like, oh, they are a good team, but they are not.
They're gonna drop back down, in my opinion. So I actually spoke to Doomsy about this. I spoke to Doomsy about it on Twitter. We were DMing a little bit, and he said that, you know, if we win Rocket Royale, then we're going to be number 1. And then they didn't win Rocket Royale, so I feel like they might drop back down a little bit, because I don't think it was the best showing for them. But we'll have to see what happens as we go forward. Be really interesting to see exactly. You know, just Supersonic Avengers, I want to see them coming out and just doing the best that they possibly can do.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
yeah.
They're a very talented team. There's no doubt about that, Doomsy included. And the thing about it is, after they did not get to the international finals, and I still have to mention it again, that video that he put out completely imitating the Kurnovi hype video for RLCS final. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. It's spectacular. But the fact
we
is,
actually have a command for it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how good it was.
The
There's a
only video
command
in our Discord that actually has a command for it, or in our Twitch chat that has a command for it. That's pretty
we
awesome.
don't even have a command for our own YouTube channel yet, so that's
Yeah.
but that one is there.
Doomsy is a fantastic human being. A lot of fun to I haven't even talked to the guy personally, and I can tell he's a lot of fun to be around. I want to see you get latched onto his personality, and you want to see him do well. That's basically.
I don't understand how he can only be on one pro team. There's not enough space for that much personality in one team.
He is his own team. I want him to play all 3 roles. And just 1v3 everybody.
Can you imagine clones of Doomsy? We wouldn't be able to handle that.
Oh, geez, one of them's enough.
So going to the chat.
Yes.
So Day, I don't know how to say McNeil, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
McNeil.
There you go. Oh, Dane McNeil. There we go.
That's the one.
So SA seems to wax and wane rapidly, hard to predict. Yeah, they are so up and down, and they need consistency. Because I know they are really pushing for this season 2 of RLCS, because Flying Dutchman just barely took them out of their running to go to the LAN finals. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, at the LAN finals, I think they would have done. I think Kings of Urban wouldn't have come in last if they had been at the LAN finals. But yeah. Supersonic Avengers needs to, I don't know what they need to do, but they need to do something to fix this inconsistency problem they have.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Regular practice would be start. It seems like they don't play as much as they should.
Lamp's been busy with exams and stuff.
Yeah, no, and that's understandable. Life gets in the way. I get that, but a lot of consistency has to do with repetition. And if you continue to put your nose to the grindstone, keep grinding, keep doing that, it's going to become second nature to you, and that's generally how people get better. It's just like me. I mean, I work 76,000 hours a week, so it doesn't work for me to be sitting there and playing. But even when I do sit there and play for 12 hours a day, it's too much exposure to it. So essentially, a couple hours a day, if they can, maybe an hour a day, something like that. Just get yourself consistent.
I think something else we need to see from this team is a little bit more. They need to be held more accountable. You see Snasky and ELMP never out on any. You don't really see them on Twitch. You don't see them tweeting all the time. I don't see them a lot promoting their team or themselves, and that holds them to not be accountable other than when they're in tournaments, which is when it obviously is most accountable. But I feel like that holds you back a little bit because it shows that they're not as serious about becoming a professional team as say other teams are.
To be fair to them though, they're ranked 3rd in the world right now. And their star player is Doomsday, who came from a team called Team Rocket after the Pokemon thing, and their logo in their team that's called Super Silken Avengers is a literal rip-off of the Avengers logo. So I mean, come on guys, how much are we expecting here?
I think Doomsday just can't help himself. I mean, you have Team Rocket and now Avengers. He has to make puns everywhere he goes.
Yeah. Okay. So before we get too far into results, I have to mention this before we get into results, because it's not listed here on our little sheet here. By the way, we're getting our results, for those of you guys that are not aware, rlreport.com.
RL-report.
RL-report, sorry. Yeah, and we can put a link in the chat. Ultimately, this is one of the best organized results sites, and it's done by one guy. Filthy is absolutely phenomenal at organizing this whole thing. I've talked to him personally. Very, very good guy. We're using this site to kind of get our results together and have everything going back and forth. But it's a couple of results that I want to go over that are not listed here before we get into the ones that are. One of our good friends, Fiend Waffle, has started an organization called Mythical Esports. For those of you that don't know about it, it's mythical-es.com. And we have signups for a 2v2 Rocket League Opera this Thursday are up right now. Ultimately, want to give a huge shout out. I believe it was, trying to think of who won last week's. I did the cast of the finals for him, but I can't think of it offhand. Anybody? Silent, you remember?
I'm down. I was so ill that day I couldn't cast or do anything to help organize, so I was just out of it.
Either way, the VOD, and I'll watch it later and tweet at it. But ultimately, the VOD is available at their twitch.tv/mythical esports. Definitely check it out if you guys get the chance. Really, really good environment, good tournament. Fiend Waffle's a great guy. Help support anything he's doing. He's fantastic. Other than that,
still looking
on Friday.
Oh, it was Mythic. Mythic won Mythical. That was what it was.
That's right. Mythic won Mythical. That was
it was Chypher's team. What am I talking about? Chypher, one of my favorite pro players. He's not quite all the way pro yet, but I love hanging out in his stream. He's just a really fun guy to watch. His drinking game is ridiculous, though. 10 drinks when he owns goals, and he does it way too much. So
shout out to Gabe under the Shift Pro League tag to give us that information. Thanks, Gabe.
Yes, thank you.
Other thing, though, too, I want to talk a little bit about SPL and Shift. I want to put a clip in the chat that is basically just summed up the entire night for Lemonade for Turtles. They came out and won their second Shift Pro League tournament in a row. It was our charity tournament called the One Up Tournament in support of the Extra Life campaign. For those of you guys that have not seen that clip, go and watch it. It is absolutely glorious. Huge shout out to Gabe as well for transitioning to webcams 5 seconds into the goal celebration while Agony was doing analysis, and I'm blown back in my chair like this. So, thank you very much for that, sir. I very much appreciate it. That should probably be an emote if and when I ever get partnered.
And speaking of those two tournaments, we do need to give a shout out to the latest whale in the Rocket League community in terms of donations, and that is Mr. Alstedo.
Yeah.
So Alstedo, I know you're in our chat saying you never heard of it for Mythical. The #1 donator. What an absolute legend. Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
guys, make sure you tune in because Saturday is the Open Swiss qualifier for the Hype League that is starting up. Momentum already have a spot for winning the Hype tournament a few weeks back. And I sat down and had a chat with Alstedo. That article is going to come out on Thursday, so you know you can check that out. Follow my Twitter, and you'll see that when that appears. But great guy, love chatting with him.
Or
Thank you very
just
much for
follow
sitting down
Alstedo
with
on
me.
Twitter. He's literally a retweet machine.
Oh
Anything
god,
Rocket
everything.
League.
I
But
tweet
just
3
don't
seconds later
everything.
liked. 3 seconds later liked.
Don't do this. Don't do what I did. I made the mistake of turning on mobile notifications for his Twitter.
Oh, don't turn that off. Turn that off immediately.
I did. Don't do it. It's a trap. It is an absolute trap.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it.
If you are
But
waiting
he's
for a girl
great
to
guy.
text you back and you have that turned on, you are going to be disappointed so many times in a minute that it's going to be ridiculous.
Well, I mean, that's
Yes.
generally the way it goes with any of Silent's relationships. She's
Oh.
very disappointed so many times in a minute.
oh, damn. Oh, I got
All
exposed.
right. Okay, so let's go. Okay. Thank you, Curtis.
Sorry, I had to.
Let's go into results.
Okay.
So if we're gonna look at, I believe it's Gfinity. We'll start with Tuesdays on
Okay.
August 16th. We have Genesis versus Momentum. Genesis beating Momentum. And then if you go up
Oh, sorry,
and you
yep,
now
gotcha.
look at the Gamer Saloon, same teams. Momentum 3-0s them. Whereas
And
in
actually,
the
the
Gfinity
first one you're looking at is PPL, not
PPL. My apologies.
Yep,
Not
that's
Yeah.
fine. No problem.
Yeah. So
No problem.
you have two teams. How do we see it? Because we've seen this for the past 2 weeks. Momentum will beat them. Genesis will beat them, but it never seems like Genesis quite rolls over them. Whereas Momentum when they do
can,
win,
yeah, it's
roll
decisive.
over them.
Well, I would be curious. I'm gonna go back and watch the Gamer Saloon footage. The thing about Momentum is they've been very inconsistent recently. The reason they've been very inconsistent recently is because of the fact that they've been playing different rosters. They've been trying to find their big three, even though I think we already know what their big three is. You have Dapper, you have Miho, and you have JNaps.
Yes.
Timmy's been subbing in certain situations. I'm not sure if it's for availability or they're just trying to see what works.
I believe the reason for that is Timmy was originally part of the starting
so
roster.
he's trying to still fit.
And I
into
think
that- into
I
that
think
fold.
Timmy may be trying to take his position back after he had that little bit of a hiatus, and
Right.
we're seeing that he really needs to maybe step down if Momentum wants to push forward.
Do we
Yeah,
know
I-
if they're all on the same platform yet?
I don't think so. I think
Because they can't party up. Like this is the problem that they've
Get
had.
Miho a processor.
I'm pretty
still
sure
a thing.
Miho still can't finish his computer, and that's the biggest issue we have at the moment for them.
All he needs is an i5 and get an i7 later, dude.
Yeah,
All you
right.
need to do is play. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, if he wants to
you
stream,
can play with an i3. Who cares?
Well-
he'd still beat me.
Yeah, true. Yeah, even with frame loss out the ass, he would wreck everything in one of us. He would 1v3 the three of us with no questions
And-
asked.
Hey, you know what? If I can
No,
run
no.
Rocket League on a Dell Inspiron at the lowest, a Dell Inspiron laptop at the lowest settings of the 15-inch screen with an Intel integrated graphics card at
Oof.
PS2 graphics, I think he can do it.
I think
You
he
can do
can.
it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so moving on,
absolutely.
looking at the rest
Moving
of Gamer Saloon, we have iBuyPower Cosmic gave 2 games up to Lucky Bounce and won in the 5th game. How do you guys feel about Lucky Bounce? Because I have my own personal opinion on this team, but I want to hear yours.
I
before share it.
actually, instead of talking about Lucky Bounce here, I want to go back to actually IBP Cosmic for just a moment. We're
Okay.
going to talk about Lucky Bounce in a moment. But the reason I want to talk about IBP for just a moment is I casted them literally the day before this Gamer Saloon happened, and they won 4-7 or 4-1 over Deception. Now I casted that game for PPL. I casted that series. And the biggest thing that I noticed from IBP is I don't know if I'm sure the effort was there, but they weren't able to put them away. Deception, even though the score was 4-1, every game that they played was a 1-goal game, including, I believe it was 2 overtimes. So Deception played them very, very tough, and then they go against a team like Lucky Bounce, who is decidedly better than Deception, and then they give up 2 games to Lucky Bounce. Maybe a thing coming here as far as kind of a notice of a little bit of a lull in IBP up before season 2 of RLCS.
That could be.
So-
I think they may be trying to relax a little bit and not do this whole year-round. We need to push all the time.
And maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. That could be definitely where they're going. But that's just something that I noticed watching them on Wednesday. And of course, the other one I did was was Genesis, and that was XD, but I feel like that was actually Goomba. Yeah, that was Goomba. That used to be I think they must have changed their names. But either way, it comes down to this. I mean, IVP will be ready and back into shape before, I think, RLCS Season 2.
Definitely.
Maybe they're just hitting a kind of an effort lull right now, and that's completely fine. They're in a position where they can do
They're
that.
riding
But
out
talking
27.5 grand. Like, they're probably out every night still.
I don't think
They're
there's
still
any doubt
out
about that.
making it rain every night.
They got the gun for the singles. Firing it
Talking
off.
about Lucky Bounce, and pardon me for just a moment. We have Darkfire and we have, I believe it was Timothy. Who is the third for them?
It's no longer September.
It's no longer September.
It's Darkfire, Torment, Memory, and Timothy.
Memory, that's who it was. That's
It
who
was Memory, I believe, who was playing.
You could never remember Memory. You did this last week. You were like, oh yeah,
I did.
Memory
I
is not
did,
in my
yeah.
memory.
It's short-term memory, okay?
Right?
Looking,
Goldfish.
looking at looking at our chat, we have Lumen, who, if you guys don't know Lumen, check out his Twitch, Iron Hype.
Yep.
They're a great team, and you should be on the lookout. They have quite a bit of potential, and Lumen is just one of the nicest guys you'll ever get to talk to via
Iron
chat.
Hype, good people.
Yeah, so Lumen was saying he doesn't think Lucky Bounce is the same powerhouse that they were because of the 1 month break they had where they fell apart and then rebanded. I think it was a publicity stunt, personally.
Well, I think the fact that JNaps left kind of took away their solid foundation, because I think JNaps is more their support player.
Possibly.
And so they need Memory to kind of fill that role. So we're gonna see
But I think
how
Lumen
well
said
that
it.
works.
Yeah, and I definitely think Lumen hit the nail on the head with the comment, they will return to form soon enough.
Yeah.
I don't think they're just going to return to form.
I think they're going to come back better.
Yeah, I think they're going to come back better, and they're going to come back with a bit of a vengeance for everyone that was like, okay, Lucky Bounce is out of the way. I know a lot of people weren't thinking about them, and they came into the group stage 2 of RLCS Season 1 and wrecked shop.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, it was a little bit too late for them to make it into LAN or anything like that, but they came back and they showed everyone what they were about, and I'm excited to see them for Season 2 and just in our weekly tournaments we have coming up to really make that name for themselves and show that we aren't just like this team that's going to keep falling apart. We're not crumbling. We're solid. We took IBP to Game 5 this week, and we'll try to take them next week. I'm excited to see that.
Two things I want to go over here. One, Lumen, I want to comment on his retort to me. Torment is their third, not Memory. And if that's the case, that's fine. Torment and JNAP seem to like to flip-flop back and forth with that role. I noticed with the old Lucky Bounce. And if Torment wants to be the solid third on that, that completely works. Other than that, taking a look, number 1 Wizard. This is one of the things that I'm most excited for too, and I'm going to read it quote unquote here. I'm most excited to see for new pro teams to come up, people we've never heard of before. That happens
like Iron
when
Hype.
you have. Well, exactly. There's Iron Hype. The thing is we're gonna have another. There's got to be another Flying Dutchman story out there.
Yeah, that's it exactly. It's
And
the
there
new
will be.
Flying
Yep.
Dutchman. We've got to have those, and I think that it's just a matter of time for, especially with the more money. I mean, now we're in the serious, like, oh, if you win this, you can quit your day job and just do this full time. So, like, 27.5 grand is great, but between 3 people, that gets you like 3 months, like, in some areas, you know, like depending on your cost of living where you live, like that could be 3 months, it could be 6 months. But when you're talking about, you know, shares of the 250 grand prize pool, obviously I don't think do we know exactly what that
Now
split
you're
is
talking
going to be?
about yearly salaries.
So yeah, that's it exactly. You're talking about living for a year just off the 1 tournament win, and that is insane.
Well, and that's just it. That's going to bring more people out of the woodwork because it's $57,000 was the total prize pool for LCS Season 1. That went up 5 times. So I fully expect that we're going to have 5 times as many people playing in this one tournament. I mean, the first qualifier for RLCS brought in 6,500 players to try to see if they can get to the group stages.
I can't imagine. It'll easily, I think it'll be doubled almost.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's going to be more than double. Just think with me for a moment. If the money's quintupled, will the players quintuple?
No. But you know what will happen?
No.
Because RLCS has put Rocket League on the map now. And the fact that the prize pool is going to be 5 times as much, you know what is going to be happening? We're going to see a lot of wallets open from a lot of companies that sponsor esports teams in other games. Which, because at the moment, like, other than iBuyPower, like...
Flip side?
Yeah, name the number... How many sponsors do we actually have that are just paying for these guys to play Rocket League full-time? And how many players do we have in other esports, in other games, who are just, full-time, they get paid by a company to sit and play with their branding? And we're going to see that happen now.
Yeah, I've been tweeting about the ESL Overwatch tournament that's going on right now, and there is this team, I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me at the moment, I'm so sorry, but they have a house dedicated for just playing.
Oh yeah, the esports houses are all over the place, and that is something that we're going to see come up as well. And in fact, coming back to the thing I originally said about the child labour laws, is that was something else that was brought up, was that they need to... One of the reasons the age is over 15 as well is that because now it's in a serious case where esports houses are going to start opening up just for Rocket League. And we're going to see, I'd be really interested in seeing...
I don't think we're going to see that for another year or so, probably.
I disagree, because the thing is that there's so many companies out there, like Tempo Storm and Hearthstone, for example, is extremely well known. They've got an esports house. I could easily see them moving into Rocket League, and they've already got the house there. They just move people into it. Do you know what I mean? So
okay, possibly.
If we're talking about sponsors from other esports moving into Rocket League, because Rocket League is now on the map, then those houses already exist. So, but
okay.
Let's get back to the results, because we are running short on time. We've got about 10 minutes left.
10 minutes left. So, okay, I'm looking at this Gfinity. I know it's Gfinity and not PBL this time.
Yeah.
And we have Team Enjoy beating 3-0 Astrum.
Give Astrum time. They'll be all right.
Is that how we feel about it? Is that?
Yeah, that's my thing on it. Give them that's probably their first entrance together into a tournament. If not their second or third, maybe, but ultimately give them time.
I would like to see a bit more of an announcement on their behalf. New team, make a statement. I feel like that's kind of necessary. And
not worried about them. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, just be patient.
I might be a little bit I'm a little disappointed in that, and I would expect a bit more. Team Enjoy. Well, yeah, and we will come back in 2 weeks. We'll come back in a week, and we'll come back the week after that. But Team Enjoy, not necessarily a top 10. Well,
not
actually,
exactly a powerhouse.
If we look at the rankings, Team Enjoy is actually number 8 this week on the power rankings, and Astrum is not on it because they haven't been part of it very long. But Team Enjoy is not a team that is necessarily well known and a really big powerhouse, and I think Astrum definitely can be.
Yeah, the fact they're in the top 10 is nice. I think it's ultimately just a matter of Astrum getting their wheels underneath them. And Enjoy is not a bad team. They're on the power rankings for a reason. Yeah. But ultimately, it's going to come down to just wait for Astrum to get their wheels under them. I think they're going to be fine. But I'm going to speed you through these results because I know that we don't have a ton of time left at this point. If you want to go ahead and list them off here to keep people updated. But
I would say just the bigger names. We have Northern Gaming is obviously kind of taking over. They 3-0'd Kaunos. We have Supersonic Avengers, who were beating Team Enjoy and Hyperion Esports for Gfinity. So those two teams obviously did very well. I don't think they actually lost a single series in Gfinity in the games that they were playing, at least. In regards to Rocket Royale, that's a whole nother story. There's so much going on there. Was there any big notices that you guys had this week with Rocket Royale?
Exodus taking out iBuyPower Cosmic 3-1.
Astrum beat Flipside.
That I'm looking at it.
Astrum beat Flipside.
So we're not concerned about Astrum at all. They just need to get the consistency up. So.
And that'll take time. That'll take time.
Yeah.
You guys are very, very correct in that statement.
Yep. Lucky
Astrum
Bounce
beat
beat your boys
Rita
Genesis 2-1.
Enjoy took out Unspecified in ESL.
Yeah, so we're just throwing out numbers to you guys so you can kind of know what's going on in the
just the highlights for what we're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, other than that,
the
only
biggest
one that really Iron Hype over Deception. Lumen, I'm looking at you. Nice work.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yep. Nice
Boost
work,
over ball.
I guess I can mention that too, real quick. We have a little bit of time here. Imperial Esports has dropped the sponsorship for the guys that are now in Deception. That's Fireworks and Crew. So they are running
Derek and that. Anybody who hangs out in Derek's stream, Robot.
Yep.
I'm actually in conversation with Fatality from Imperial who is one of the CEOs and owners of Imperial, and they're working on finding another team. So unfortunately, they just didn't think they were going to renew them, so they went ahead and terminated. It was like 3 weeks up on the contract. 3 weeks left on the contract is what they basically said. So they're looking for another one, and they're in conversations with other teams that I'm not going to go into right now. So
Dane McNeil, sorry, before we go on, he asked what the schedule is for our stream.
Oh, I'm just replying
Weekly,
to
every
Monday, 4:30. So
4:30 Eastern. Yep.
4:30 Eastern. For me, I'm on the West Coast. It's 1:30.
For me, it's 9:30.
It all depends on where you're in the world.
And I'm in the Eastern time zone, which is the right time zone. So Stone's living in the past and Silent's living in the future.
No, I'm in the right time zone. You're in the center time zone, and Stone's in the left time zone.
I'm in
Love it. Either way, though, guys, I think that basically covers what we need to talk about today.
No, there's one final thing I need to comment. Just because if you watch our last episode, I was complaining a lot. I want to say that everything has come back around, and I feel at peace. Genesis is number 13 in the world right now in the power rankings.
Yeah,
we are back.
We are back. Yeah, the soccer mom is coming out again.
Yeah, completely.
The Suburban is parked. The kids are screaming out in their little sports kits.
That was the greatest mental picture. When I come to America, Stone, I expect you to pull up in a Suburban and Espion, Pluto, and Quinwall hop out the back.
Oh, 1 second. Alstedo, I've been losing my mind. Rock will confirm this. Since you introduced CST into my life yesterday, I have just been a ruined person. I'd done it. I'd sorted it out. And then all of a sudden you throw in a fourth time zone that I have to worry about. And my life went to hell, honestly. It's just been bad. I was late to my daughter's birthday party today. I mean, everything was wrong.
His clock is now just spinning constantly. It doesn't slow down.
Yeah, it's like the clock on Urban Central. When you score a goal, it just spins.
It really makes my day.
So, any last comments?
At the moment, no. Just kind of, we have a little less than 2 weeks left until the qualifier for RLCS Season 2. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that the timetable is correct. So, I mean, at the moment, everyone's just kind of getting prepared for that, and we're going to have basically a pre-qualifier, more or less special next week, looking ahead to see kind of what we expect from it.
Yep.
I think it's a good way to go.
Teams to look out for this week or to pay attention to. Silent, any team?
We Dem Babies.
We Dem Babies. All right.
We Dem Babies.
Curtis?
I love the fact that they have gone and chosen that name after everyone was so annoyed with We Dem Girls.
I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to give you Lemonade for Turtles. With the initials LFT, or same as looking for team. Squishy Skies and Epic Johnny. They've taken 2 shift tournaments in a row, and I put the Twitch clip in there earlier. Watch that and be happy. Just enjoy. A couple of shift tournaments in a row. The only other team to take 2 tournaments from shift in a row has been Momentum to this point. So look for them to be on the rise, going forward here. So and I'm hoping that they will make an entrance into the qualifiers for Season 2.
Definitely a good team. And I do have, I'll make an announcement for us. Mm-hmm. So next week we are going to have a 4th person.
Yeah, we got a 4th chair.
We got a 4th chair, and it's not just a picture of Rocket Jesus this time. Findable Carpet is going to be joining us and helping us with next week's stream. So look out for that.
It's going to be good.
Hopefully you guys give him a warm welcome.
Yeah. Hopefully you like Findable Carpet.
I mean, he's going to welcome you with a nice smile and a rock hard dick. So at least you can do is welcome him the same.
Come on, Curtis. Let's keep it PG. And honestly, I was going to make a comment that Rock was going to be feeling bad because of his weak beard game compared to Carpet, but instead, we just get a dick joke. That's what we get.
I've been trying to pull the white carpet. I'm not sure how well it's working.
Yeah. So we got Findable Carpet next week, and we're gonna be trying to get a guest on fairly frequently. We'll see how it goes. But first,
cold welcomes here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Only cold. Well, that's fine. We'll make sure we have a chip on our shoulder the whole time.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But ultimately, keep that eye out. That'll be a fun addition. He's always a really fun guy. If you guys haven't checked out his streams, do it. I love that guy.
Yeah.
It'll give you a prelude.
Do it if you are over the age of 18. I'm not going to recommend that anybody under the age of 18 watches his stream.
If you're over the age of 25 and under the age of 65, because he might cause you to have a stroke. Let's be honest.
Yeah, stroke or just you're not old enough unless you're 24.
and if you want to see the greatest entrance, wow, I can't talk right now. That means we should end. If you want to see a great entrance for him, look up his brain power video.
Oh god,
It's
don't even.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So-
love that.
And
so
either-
before we're gonna have to wrap up now. So Curtis, where can the folks find you?
RL_Curtis on Twitter is where you're gonna find me. He is at SilentEcho UK on Twitter, and he is at Rock_Whisperer on Twitter. So ultimately, good stuff. We at this point we're gonna go ahead and for Rock and Silent. I am Curtis. We got to sign off, otherwise they're gonna kick us off. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will see you guys next week on the Rocket Powered Report.
Yep.
Have fun, guys.